Thank you for joining this ABNM tutorial on how to enroll your trainees for the ABNM and training exam using the new online form. The first step is to make sure you are visiting www.abnm.org to complete the online form. This will bring you to the ABNM homepage. The next step will be to click on Program Directors and Administrators, which will bring you to the page shown here. You will then scroll down to the section titled In Training Exam, click on the Enroll Trainee button, and you will be brought to the Create Institution Account page. The first step, you will select your institution. All ACGME nuclear medicine programs are listed here. If your program is not listed, please keep the tab on All International and complete the form. For today's purposes, I will be using Sample, so Sample University for the organization, and you can enter a password. There are no restrictions on the password, so just make sure that you keep the password available to you at all times. So for today's purposes, I will be Sample 1 for the password. Okay, and then we're going to click Next. You will then be taken to the Contacts page, Step 2. You will enter in the program administrator or coordinator's information along with the program director's information. If your program does not have an administrator or coordinator, please enter the same information in both slots. So for today's purposes, my first name is going to be Sample and my second name is going to be Sample 2. And then I'm going to enter an email address. The program director's name is going to be Sample 3, and the email is going to be sample3@abnm.org. And then after the information is entered, then we will click Next. On step 3, you will enter in your institution address. And address 2 and address 3 are not required. But if you have information that needs to belong in there, please enter that. We're going to enter a city, and I'll just put in where the ABNM office is located and select United States. And then enter in the ABNM office phone number and click Next. The next step is that you're going to enter in the proctor information. So the proctor is the point of contact for the day of the exam. The proctor will be present on the exam day and is responsible for administering and providing examinees access to the test. Please note that examinees cannot proctor the exam. So for today's purposes, I will again be the proctor. The coordinator can be the proctor, so I will enter in that information here. And then the secondary proctor, I'm going to say my program director will be the proctor just in case I am not able to make it into the office that day or to administer the exam for any unknown reason at the time of completing this form. Okay, you do have the option to skip adding the proctors and trainees, and you can keep that for a later date. But for today's purposes, since we are entering information to enroll our residents or trainees, we're going to go ahead and click Next. Okay, then you will come to the page where you are actually going to enter in the trainee information. Please note that at any time, if you think you need to go back to one of these steps, you can simply click on the steps up here at the top of the blocks or buttons, and you can go back and review what you've entered in. Okay, so we're on step 5, and I'm going to enter in the trainee and payment information. So for today's purposes, you guessed it, This will be sample number 4. So a middle initial is not required, but we'll put an S in there for today. It is helpful to have the middle initial for future references. And then the information after you enter in the trainee's name and email is essential because this tells us where they're at in their training as of the month in which they're going to take the exam. So first we ask, has this trainee previously taken the exam? Yes or no? For today's purposes, we're going to say yes to this trainee. As of January, they will have completed 24 months of nuclear medicine training across all institutions. So the remaining amount left is going to be 12 months left. And then I have 2 trainees who are going to take the exam in my sample institution at the sample university. So I'm going to add another trainee, and this will be, you guessed it, sample number 5. I'm not going to enter the middle initial to show you that that's not required. And they haven't previously taken the exam. So this person has only completed 6 months of training and has 30 more months to go. So I've entered my 2 trainees that are going to sit the upcoming in-training exam, and now I'm going to click Complete Form. After doing this, I will be brought to the checkout page or the payment page, and it'll tell me the total number of trainees registering for the ABNM IT exam at $250 per trainee is 500. So yes, I had 2 trainees register for the exam at $250 is $500. There's no late fee, and the total amount due is $500. So I will then enter in all the billing information, including the payment by credit card. It is necessary to note that the ABNM is now only accepting credit card payments, so please complete this information, and then I'll click Submit and Confirm. Once you click Submit and Confirm, you'll obtain a confirmation page that is printable by PDF, and so you can print that page for your records. Thank you for joining today, and if needed, please contact the ABNM for any additional questions or issues with the form.